Let's look at number 3. Here we have a circle. Don't worry about my drawing. And let's say the radius is 12 meters. So you can say that the radius is 12 meters and the diameter will be 2r, which is 2 times 12 meters, which is 24 meters. So if I give you radius, you must be able to find diameter. Now let's do number 4. Here is a circle. Here is the diameter. And let's say the diameter is 100 millimeters. So the diameter is equal to 100 millimeters. And we want to know how much is the radius. How much is the radius from here to here? Well, radius is always equal to diameter over 2, which is equal to 100 divided by 2 millimeters. And therefore the answer will be radius is equal to 50 millimeters. Now you must be able to find diameter and radius. All right. Now it's interesting, go into the kitchen and look at plates and look at saucers and measure the radius and the diameter in the kitchen. Right, now let's do an example on area. Suppose we are given a circle like this and we are told that the radius is 14 meters. The radius is 14 meters. Now, you want to find 5.1, the perimeter. Now, in the circle, the perimeter has a special formula. And that formula is pi. Well, let me first explain what is pi. Now we started talking about pi, so first let us explain what is pi. So before we're going to find perimeter, let me explain what is pi. Now, I want you to watch this little demonstration. So what you're seeing here is a circle. Okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to do a little experiment. We're going to start rolling this circle here. You see? We're going to start rolling the circle here till it completes one complete revolution, till it turns one time. And we keep turning it slowly till it completes one full circle. And you see that it stopped here. So really, this distance, I will repeat it. I hope you can see that. It's there. Then I am rolling it. I'm rolling it till that black spot comes back onto the line. And you'll find that it comes onto the line here. So this distance from here to here is actually the circumference of the circle. Now, you will find, now let's go back to this little circle. In the circle, I have drawn the diameter in black. In the circle, I've drawn the diameter in black. All right? Now, if you look, and if we do a comparison, well, actually, it ends till there. All right. So, there's the diameter of the circle. Now what you'll find is there will be 1, 2, supposed to be 3. That's supposed to be 3. Well, my experiment is not very good, but you'll find that the 3 diameters will fit here. 1 diameter, 2 diameters, 3 diameters, and a little bit will be left over. Right? So, the circumference of a circle is actually a little more than, I can't put equal to now, it's approximately 3 1/7 of a diameter. So this 3 1/7 is given a special name, and it's called pi. So 3 1/7 can also be written as 3 7s 21 and 1 22/7. So if you don't have a calculator, then you're going to say that pi is equal to 22/7, or you're going to say pi is equal to 3 1/7. Most of the time we use that formula. So what we're trying to show you here is that if you do it properly on a table and you roll something around, you'll find that 3 diameters will fit into this distance. The diameter will fit in 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and you'll have a little bit left over. Mine didn't work out so nicely because I'm doing it on a board. But if you try this on the floor in your house, you'll find that 3 diameters, the circumference will be more than 3 diameters long. And that relationship is called pi. But just to give you an idea, if you can't do the experiment, don't worry. So the question was, what is pi? And the answer is, pi is a ratio of circumference divided by diameter, which is equal to 3 1/7, or circumference divided by diameter, which is equal to 22/7. So, well, you don't have to worry. I just showed it to you how it happens. You don't have to worry. If all you have to remember from this lesson is that the value of pi is 22/7, or pi is 3 1/7, or you can use it. You can use pi from the calculator. Many scientific calculators got pi on the calculator. All right, that's a little bit of background about circles before we start. So you have to know what is the radius, you have to know what is the diameter, and you have to know that pi is equal to 22/7. Now we will move on to the next step, where we're going to try to find perimeter and area of a circle. Right, in this question they say calculate the circumference and area of the circle. A circle is drawn, one line is shown here, and there's a dot over here. Now it's very important for me to tell you that this is the center, right? If it's not told, it's not good. It's nice for you to know that this is the center. So I'm telling you that O is the center, so you know that this is the radius. So, because I told you this is the center, then this is obviously the radius. Now, let's see. You want the circumference. Now, if you want the circumference, then the circumference is equal to pi times diameter. Now, if you look at this is pi, and we told you earlier on that pi is 22/7. Now you want diameter. Now when you look at this diagram, the diameter is not given. So let's draw the diameter in. Now there's the diameter, I drew it in red. So it is 7 plus another 7. That's why the diameter is 14 meters. 7 plus 7. So the diameter, now it's very nice to always write next to the diagram. This radius is 7 meters. The diameter is 2 times 7. The diameter is 14. So you must first work this out. Now you want the diameter. So the diameter is 14 over 1 meters. Now you can see we are dealing with fractions. And I hope you didn't forget your fractions. You can cancel up and down or in the form of a cross. So you try to cancel up and down, nothing. You try to cancel up and down, nothing. You're trying to cancel in a cross, and you find that 7 can divide into 7 one time, 7 can divide into 14 2 times. So what's left in the top? 22 times 2. 22 times 2 over. What's left in the denominator? 1 times 1. 22 times 2 is 44. 1 times 1 is 1. And 44 over 1 is 44. So the circumference is equal to 44 meters. Now, I could find the circumference in another way. So I'm going to go on to that side and I'm going to calculate the circumference using a different formula, but obviously the answer will be the same. So we give you a few minutes to look at that and to understand it. So trying to find the circumference, but now instead of writing the word circumference in full, I'm just going to write C. C for circumference. Another formula for circumference is 2 pi r. And the meaning of 2 pi r means 2 times pi times r. So there's your 2 over 1 times pi. Pi you know is 22 over 7. And the radius is 7 over 1. Remember this 7 is coming from here. From the radius, it's coming from there. Now you can see fractions again, and you want to divide up and down. Nothing can divide up and down, nothing can divide up and down. Then you're trying to divide in the form of a cross. They cannot divide. 2 cannot divide here exactly, so forget about that. Now you try this way. Can 7 divide into 7? Yes, 7 divides into 7 one time. 7 divides into 7 one time. Now what's left on the top? 2 times 22 times 1 over 1 times 1 times 1. Now 2 times 22 is 44. 44 times 1 is 44. 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. 44 over 1 is 44. And of course we were working in meters here, so therefore I will write meters. So you could have found the circumference using a different formula. Right, so we're dealing with the circle here. I'm redrawing the circle and the radius is 7. Remember the radius is 7. The diameter is equal to 14. And we know that pi is 22 over 7. Now what happened? We want to find the area. Now the area of a circle, I'm going to write it in full. Area of circle is equal to pi r squared. Now pi r squared means pi times r times r. Now what is pi? It is 22 over 7. What is radius? Well, there's the radius here. Radius is 7 over 1 times 7 over 1. And because this is area, it will be meter squared. Again, you got fractions. So you have to cancel. So you can see this 7 will cancel here one time and cancel there one time. The word cancel and the word divide mean the same. So 7 divides into 7 one time, 7 divides into 7 one time. Now let's see what's left over. What we have left over here is 22 times 1, watch my fingers, times 7. Times 7. I'll redo that. 22 times 1 times 7. On all over 1 times 1 times 1. Now 22 times 1 is 22, and then 22 times 7 is 154. Right? If I'm too fast for you, just use your calculator. 22 times 1 is 22. 22 times 7 is 154. If you forgot, you do it like this. 22 times 7. 7 twos, 14. Carry 1. 7 twos, 14. And that 1, 15. So that's how you get 154 over 1. And 154 over 1 is 154. So the area of the circle is 154 meter squared. Alright, we're just going to stick to this one formula for area of circle, and you can just use this one formula. Alright, here's a little exercise on the circle. In this diagram, you have a circle, and like I told you before, it's nice for me to tell you which is the center. So M is center, and therefore R is a radius, and you can see the radius measures 21 centimeters. You are required to calculate the radius, calculate the diameter, calculate the circumference, and then calculate the area. That's for number 1. Alright, I think what you do, you try number 1, finish it, and then we'll move to number 2. So what we will say here now is stop the DVD for you to try this. Welcome back. The radius. Well, the radius is given. The radius is 21 centimeters. Now you want the diameter. Diameter is always 2 times radius. So that will be 2 times 21 centimeters, and the answer is 42. 2 times 21, 42. Right, now you want to find the circumference. Right, let's see, let's write CS. Circumference is equal to pi times diameter. Pi is 22 over 7 times diameter. Now remember, that's radius and that's diameter. So you want diameter, therefore you will say 42 over 1, and the answer is going to be in centimeter. Again, you're going to try to cancel up and down or in a cross. Nothing can cancel here. Nothing can cancel here. But 7 can cancel here one time. 7 can cancel there 6 times. If you know your timetable, 7, 6, 42. So it cancels there 6 times. Now let's see what's left. What's left on the top? 22 times 6 all over. 1 times 1 centimeter. And 22 times 6 is 132 centimeter all over 1. And 132 over 1 is 132. So that was your answer for the circumference. Right? Okay. I will move over onto the other side to find the area. Okay, so the area is equal to pi r squared. That means pi times r times r. Pi is 22 over 7 times r is 21 over 1 times 21 over 1. Remember, there's r here and there's r here, and the answer will be centimeter squared. Then you're going to try to cancel. 7 will cancel here 1 time, 7 will cancel here 3 times. Now, you'll have 22 times 3 times 21 all over 1 times 1 times 1. Now, you can do this step by step, centimeter squared. Now you got 22 times 3 will give you 66 times 21. You see, 22 times 3 gives you 66, 66 times 21 all over 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. Now you want to know what is 66 times 21. Well, you can do it the long way. 66 times 21. Well, I don't know how you've learnt it, but if I do the units, 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 6 is 6. If I'm doing the 20s, so that will be the 0. 2 times 6 is 12. 2, 6, 12 and 1, 13. Whichever way your teacher has taught it to you, you'll get 1386 over 1, which is finally 1386 centimeter squared. Alright, so this was just my rough work for 66 times 21. Right? So you do it step by step and you get the answer. Alright, we're just going to give you a minute to have a look at that, try to understand it. So I'll explain this last part again. 22 times 3 times 21. 22 times 3 times 21 over 1 times 1 times 1. Now I can multiply these two numbers first. 22 times 3 is 60. 6 times 21. Now this I can't do in my head, so I do it the long multiplication and I get 1386. So it's 1386 over 1, and that's your final answer. Alright, so that was what you got for number 1. Alright, in number 2, you are told the diameter of a circle is 70 millimeters. Calculate 2.1 the radius, 2.2 circumference, 2.3 area. So we have to answer those 3 small questions. Alright, let's see what we do. Alright, so you have to stop the DVD and try it, and then we will have a look at what you have done. Alright, so in number 2, you were told that there is a circle. So you draw the circle. Now remember in maths, it's very important to draw diagrams if you're doing problem solving. So draw the diagram, there's the circle. And you are told that the diameter is 70 millimeters. That means from here to there, it is 70 millimeters. Now that's the diameter. So you would like to know what is this is the radius. How much is the radius? And this long one, of course, is the diameter. Alright, so the first question is, calculate the radius. Now the radius is diameter over 2, diameter divided by 2. The diameter is 70 millimeters divided by 2, therefore the answer is 35 millimeters. I hope you got that right. 2.2, calculate the circumference. Circumference, or I'll just write C now. Circumference is equal to pi times diameter. So that will be 22 over 7 times diameter, which is given to us. Diameter is 70. Radius is 35. So the diameter is 70 over 1 millimeter. And you want to cancel. So let's see. You want to divide. 7 divided to 7 one time. Into 70, 10 times. 22 times 10 on top. All over. 1 times 1 millimeter. That gives you 220 over 1 millimeter. And the final answer is 220 millimeters. Okay, I hope you had that right. Okay, that was circumference. Now, let's do the area. 2.3. And area is equal to pi r squared. That's 22 over 7. Oh no, sorry, let's do it step by step, it's better. So that's pi times r. That's 22 over 7 times, oh, what is r now? R is 35, isn't it? R is 35, look here. Times 35 over 1, and the answer will be millimeter squared because it's area. Again, you want to know what is dividing. 7 divides here 1 time, 7 divides here 5 times. So you must know your tables. And then what's left on top? 22 times 5 times 35 all over 1 times 1 times 1. Now, I'm going to do this part here first. 22 times 5. 22 times 5 is 110 times 35. 22 times 5 is 110 times 35 all over 1. Now, I don't know what's 110 times 35. So, I will do some rough work. Now, let's see. So, if I work out 110 times 35, 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 1 is 5, 5 times 1 is 5. Then I'm multiplying by 30, write down the 0. 3 times 0 is 0, 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 1 is 3. And then you add it up. Or use the method that your teacher may have taught you. That's 0, that's 5, that's 8, that's 3. 3, 8, 5, 0. So this final answer is 3850 all over 1, which is actually 3850 millimeters squared. All right, so you've got to know a little bit of long multiplication if you're doing area of circles. You have to know two things. You have to know how to deal with fractions, and you have to know a little bit of long multiplication. If you don't know long multiplication, then for a short while, we'll allow you to use your calculator and check these answers. So I'll say, use the calculator and check these answers. Back. Here is example 3 on circles. You are given a circle and the radius measures 3 meters. Calculate the perimeter and the area. Well, if they say perimeter, really they mean calculate the circumference. Calculate the circumference, calculate the area. Alright, you can stop the DVD and try it, and then we shall look at it together. Alright, so you said circumference is equal to pi times diameter. Now in this diagram, radius is 3. So the diameter is 2 times 3, which is 6 meters. So this will be 22 over 7 times 6 over 1. Now, when you try to cancel, up and down, nothing. Up and down, nothing. Across, nothing. So nothing cancels. Well, if nothing cancels, that's how it is. So on the top you got 22